The showdown is not meant to cause offense or harm. The viewer acknowledges any reliance on the accuracy or completeness of said content should be done at their own discretion. The host apologizes in advance for any affront as a result of personal attacks.
Where they tell me I'm too nice to Ron Darling. That's what they say. You know, Ronnie, I know he's a nice guy, but, you know, you got to kick him in the shins now and then.
By the way, you cause harm every time. You have a showdown.
There we go. I want a discussion here.
Okay.
There's a lot of impatience out there, a lot of GM news in the last couple of weeks. Red Sox, Mets, White Sox, new direction. The Giants came out actually yesterday and backed Farhan Zaidi as if that needed to be done. What is it? What's happening? What's the dynamic that there's so much urgency that we must be winning every single year?
I don't only see that in baseball. I see it all across the board in life. It's just a tremendous amount of impatience.
Right.
That if something's not happening today, why is it not happening? And someone's got to be the GOAT, and someone's got to pay for this. I don't know how you can look at Farhan Zaidi after 107 wins 2 seasons ago and think, wait a minute, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, yes, he does.
And they have a manageable payroll. They don't have anybody over $20 million. Like, they're poised to, and they're competing right now for playoff spot.
Right now, today, they're in the postseason.
Right.
So, I mean, isn't that what we're doing? What are we doing here?
And how do you not learn from the story of this season? You alluded to it.
Yeah.
And we've been doing malaise clubs all year. Mets, Padres, Yankees, top 3 in payroll. Where are they? They're not in playoff position. How do you not learn from that? Also, the Cardinals are doing it the right way. Yeah. They had a miserable season. They were awful from the start. And I don't see everybody getting fired, right? Can you just, you know, hey, you know what? Sometimes this happens. I like an organization that has the strength to say that.
Well, I think what happens for a lot of these teams is that there's a lot of pressure on the fan bases. I think there was a time where we thought only the Yankees and the Phillies and the Red Sox and the Mets take a lot of fan abuse if they're not a great team. That's not true. I think with social media, there's an ability for anyone, the average Joe, to really air out their own team on a daily basis. So they're feeling that pressure. The owner's feeling that pressure. And I guess sometimes it ends up someone losing their job, which is a shame.
Speaking of new direction, the New York Mets, David Stearns, new president of baseball operations. What is that? You watch them on a daily basis. What is the best course of action in this offseason leading to next year?
Well, I think what's interesting is David's going to have to come in and kind of reevaluate all the players in their organization and see what kind of viability. Where are we at? Are we at you know, the 8th step on a 10-step rung, or are we on the 4th step? I think that's the hardest part. Well, when I look at the team, starting pitching is going to be very deficient. When you look at them going into next year, Senga and Quintana really are the 2 guys that you can pen in. The rest of the guys have had some degrees of success, but haven't got there where you can say, boy, that's going to be a part of a rotation. Maybe Yamamoto from Japan plays a big part if they sign him. And the everyday players. Now, I have Starling Marte in there, and he's been injured, but he's got 2 more years left on his contract. He's going to get the first chance. The 2 guys at the bottom, Vientos and Stewart, maybe they are your DHs going into next year, but not a full roster.
I'm watching you guys now, and they're spunky, right? Like, it's kind of, there's a little more life going on. So now, but there's Shohei Ohtani, the prize jewel, right? Like, and there's your owner, Steve Cohen, with the #1 payroll, not afraid to spend. Do they go that route, or is that the wrong direction?
I don't know if they go that route. I think they're definitely going to take a look. You know, it's a perfect player that is going to be imperfect next year because of his arm injury. But, no, they'll definitely be in on everyone that matters in the game, I think, until the end of time. But I think because of getting burnt last year, and I shouldn't say getting burnt, with Verlander, Scherzer, incredibly big contracts.
It didn't work out.
And it didn't work out, that I think a reevaluation, and especially under David Stearns, will happen.
A pumping of the brakes sometimes is the best choice of action. I think, right, you can say, oh, Ohtani's such a great player, even if he's not pitching. All right, at what price? $50 million. You talk about a super aircraft carrier, right? That price comes, you know, at a great cost to the team and the payroll.
Baseball's a very strange game. It's not NBA, where you just get the best player and you are sure to be in the postseason. You've got to look at your roster, you've got to look at your team, and you've got to put people in there that are going to be the best fit.
Last thing, some of the funniest stuff came from the Braves clinching in Philadelphia, right? There was so much there. Rob Thompson saying, you know, like, you know, the Braves sure celebrate a lot. But this got me. The Braves celebrating on the field, and on the scoreboard, there it is. Congratulations, Atlanta Braves, NL East champions. And that's in Philadelphia. Now, some Philly fans had a problem with that. Ronnie, I get that. I don't know if I'm Philadelphia, I don't know if I do that. I'm being polite to them. I don't tell the groundskeepers to kick them off the field. I let their families celebrate on the sideline. I don't know if I'm putting it up on a board.
So you're against being classy. Is that what you are?
Oh,
right
nice.
Now?
Nice.
No, I think there's certain fan bases that just doesn't resonate. I think it's a nice touch by the Philadelphia.
There's classy. I think that's over the line from classy to, like, I don't even know it as pandering or over the top. I need to good job, fellas, kicking us out of first place. Like, I don't. You can be decent about it.
Yes.
And also, I think, like, what was the celebration where was it? Who jumped in the pool? The Dodgers jumped in the Diamondbacks pool.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go over the top when you're celebrating on someone else's field. Here it is. Look. All right, so that's like you don't jump in somebody else's pool. You don't do that. But I also don't. I think the decorum is decent to not put it up on the field and say, "Hey, good job, opposing team."
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. I think it was a classy move by them to do it, but they did not have to do it.
Okay. I think we arrived at a certain place here.